Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hello, my name is Germana and today we are going to see the Italian conditional, condizionale. We are going to dive deep into its grammar through useful examples and exercises that I'll leave you to complete at home. These exercises also include the solutions on the last page, so make sure to download them by clicking on the Google Drive link down below, which will lead you straight to the PDF file. But first guys, if you want to see any other Italian grammar videos from me in the future, just make sure to subscribe down below and turn on my post notification so you never miss another upload. Are you ready? Let's get started. So when do we use the conditional in Italian? Before you continue with this video, try to guess in what cases we may choose to use it. Probably in your native language you already have a very similar tense. So if you have it, let me know in the comment section down below how much it differs from the Italian one. Okay, so in Italian we use condizionale to express desire, hypothesis or doubt that can only take place given specific conditions, be them explicit or not. Let's see an example. Se avessi €1.000.000 comprerei una casa. If I had €1.000.000, I'd buy a house. Comprerei is the conditional form of the verb comprare, to buy. Guess what's the condition that has to be satisfied to give life to the action expressed by the conditional? Yes, it's having €1.000.000. Bless you! Conditional can be both semplice and composto. And you may find it both in independent and subordinate phrases. In our previous example, the conditional was in a subordinate phrase, more specifically in an if clause that in Italian is called periodo ipotetico, which we'll see in another video. And it can express a kind request. An example, mi passeresti il sale? Would you mind passing me the salt, please? Or a statement or personal opinion in a kind way. An example, dovremmo andare, si è fatto tardi. We better leave, it's getting late. Or a conjecture about the effectiveness of a past event. An example, dai dati raccolti, i ladri sarebbero entrati dalla finestra del salone. According to the data collected, the thieves entered through the window of the living room. We call this specific conditional condizionale giornalistico, literally journalistic conditional, because you'll mostly hear it on the news and it describes conjectures that still are not validated. It also expresses doubt. An example, cos'altro avrei potuto fare? What else could I do? And desire. Questa sera vorrei mangiare una pizza. Tonight, I'd like to eat pizza. And a future action, but that took place in the past. An example, Stefano ha detto che avrebbe richiamato più tardi. Stefano said he would have called back later. So before we've said that conditional can be both semplice and composto. But how do we form it? Let's start with condizionale semplice. You must know that if you already know how to conjugate futuro, so the future tense, you'll find this conjugation pretty easy for you. As a matter of fact, the root of the verb comes from the infinitive form and then you'll simply add the ending. To recap all of the endings for each conjugation, I have created another PDF file which you can download by clicking on the same Google Drive link down below, which will lead you straight to the PDF file. Let's see a verb for each conjugation. Let's start with the first one. Cantare, to sing. Io canterei, tu canteresti, lui, lei canterebbe, noi canteremmo, voi cantereste, loro canterebbero. What can you notice? The root is from the infinitive form of the verb, that's to say, cant. And then for the first conjugation, you switch the vowel A to E, and then you add the endings of the conditional. And then you proceed the same way for the other two conjugations. Let's see the second one. Leggere, to read. Io leggerei, tu leggeresti, lui, lei leggerebbe, noi leggeremmo, voi leggereste, loro leggerebbero. As you've probably already noticed, with this conjugation, you don't want to change the vowel. As a matter of fact, it remains I throughout the whole conjugation. But what about the third conjugation instead? Let's see an example with the verb dormire, to sleep. Io dormirei, tu dormiresti, lui, lei dormirebbe, noi dormiremmo, voi dormireste, loro dormirebbero. Here again, the vowel prevailing in the conjugation is the one that characterizes it. That's to say, I. And now let's see condizionale composto. We form this tense by using essere or avere as auxiliary verbs, and then we add the past participle of the verb. But when do we use it? We use this tense to describe actions that could have taken place in the past, given specific conditions, but that eventually didn't. An example: non avrei comprato l'acqua se avessi saputo che l'avevi già comprata tu. Avrei comprato is condizionale composto of the verb comprare. So we've used the verb avere as auxiliary verb plus the past participle of the verb comprare, which is a verb of the first conjugation. And again, to simplify your studying, I've created another PDF file which includes more or less the most common verbs to use with essere. So you have no excuses to get confused with it. You can download it by clicking on the same Google Drive link down below in the description box. Okay, so we focused on the usage of condizionale composto, but what about its conjugation instead? You have to focus mainly on the conjugation of the auxiliary verbs because they're gonna change throughout the conjugation, whilst the past participle more or less will remain unchanged. Let's see first, second and third conjugations with verbs that require avere as auxiliary verb. First conjugation, cantare, to sing. Io avrei cantato, tu avresti cantato, lui, lei avrebbe cantato, noi avremmo cantato, voi avreste cantato, loro avrebbero cantato. Second conjugation, leggere, to read. Io avrei letto, tu avresti letto, lui, lei avrebbe letto, noi avremmo letto, voi avreste letto, loro avrebbero letto. Third conjugation, dormire, to sleep. Io avrei dormito, tu avresti dormito, lui, lei avrebbe dormito, noi avremmo dormito, voi avreste dormito, loro avrebbero dormito. And now let's see the conjugation of verbs that require essere as auxiliary verb. First conjugation, andare, to go. Io sarei andato, or andata. Tu saresti andato, or andata. Lui, lei sarebbe andato, or andata. Noi saremmo andati, or andate. Voi sareste andati, or andate. Loro sarebbero andati, or andate. Can you see a little detail in this conjugation? When you use essere as auxiliary verb, the past participle will always change according to the gender and the number of the subject. Remember, this is valid only with the verb essere. What can you tell me about second conjugation and third conjugation? I'll give you two verbs, one for each conjugation. I want you to write in the comment section down below what you think is the conjugation for each verb. The verb of the second conjugation I've chosen is cadere, to fall. How would you conjugate it? And the verb I've chosen for the third conjugation is uscire, to go out, to exit. How would you conjugate it? Let me know in the comment section down below. Okay, so now that we've gone through the usage and the conjugation of the Italian condizionale, let's complete some sentences together. Number 1. Se mi svegliassi prima, arrivare, in orario al lavoro. Number 2. Volere, io, un gelato al cioccolato, grazie. Number 3. Non penso che Antonella venire alla festa se sapesse che c'è anche Federico. Number 4. Potere tu gentilmente prestarmi la tua penna, per favore? Number 5. Il presidente del rinomato gruppo investire il proprio denaro in attività illecite. Number 6. Essere meglio andare a casa piuttosto che fermarsi a dormire in hotel. Pay attention to this conjugation. We do not have a specific person. It's impersonal. So anytime the conjugation is impersonal, we use the third person. Number 7. Diego dovere studiare di più per l'esame dell'altro giorno. And last one. Avevano detto che prendere il taxi per raggiungerci in centro, ma non sono mai venuti. So good, that's all for today's lesson. For sure, we will work with this tense in the future, but for now, I hope I gave you some relevant insights for your self-studying. As usual, if you have any question, please let me know in the comment section down below, and also let me know what you think about this Italian tense. Plus, don't forget that I've been teaching online on italki, so now, if you want to get to know me and book a trial lesson with me, you can find all the information in the description box down below. On italki, you'll have the possibility to have one-on-one online lessons whenever and wherever you want, and all you need is just a long and stable internet connection. In my opinion, this is definitely the most efficient way to reach language fluency. So click on the link in the description box to earn 10 USD italki credits when you sign up for your first lesson. Thank you guys for watching this video. If you want to connect with me, you can find me on my Facebook, Instagram and Twitter account. See you next time. Ciao!